Hello everyone, it feels so good to be back. I had to take a necessary break, but I'm glad I'm back here. To all my returning subscribers, thank you for engaging my previous content. Thank you for liking, for sharing my videos. And to my new subscribers on this channel, we talk about faith, purpose, relationship, and lifestyle. So kindly hit the subscribe button because you get value for every video you watch, and turn on your notification bell so you get notified anytime we post videos. Have you ever had those days where it feels like your to-do list, your daily task screams louder than your prayer points? Those days where it feels like you have to show up for anyone and everyone? Those days where it feels like you're caving in? The days where it feels like you're fighting quiet battles that you cannot tell people about? Those days where it feels silent pressures and constant daily demands? The days where it feels like your emotional or mental health is at stake? The days where it feels like you are extremely overwhelmed and you are burnt out. God says He has given us peace that surpasses all understanding. So your mind cannot be going through so many burdens, pressures, or being overwhelmed, and you experience peace. Today, we're going to be talking about how to guard our heart and mind, how to guard our emotional and mental health, how to go from being overwhelmed to overflowing with peace. The first thing I'll say is check what you allow access into your mind. Proverbs 12:23 says, guard your heart with all diligence, for out of it flows the issues of life. Whatever you take in is what you give out. Not everything should have access to your mind. And now I'm talking about the pressures from social media, the pressures from yourself, the pressures from your family. You need to guard your heart. You need to guard your mind. You need to sieve whatever goes into your mind. You need to screen what you allow access into your mind. These days of constant social media, you need to take a break and guard your heart. Stay away from some things for a while. You need to stop, look at what you've been allowing access into your mind, screen them, do away with a lot of things, and start afresh. The second way we can guard our emotional and mental health is to learn to say no when it's necessary. Learn to say no without feeling guilty. Learn to say no without needing to explain yourself. Every open door wasn't opened by God, and every open door is not a divine assignment. So you need to learn to know the doors you're supposed to pass through, the doors you're supposed to close, and the doors you're supposed to destroy completely. Imagine if you had to say yes to everybody. Imagine if you had to say yes to anyone and you are busy throughout the day, but then you don't even have time to refresh, you don't have time to reset. Being busy is not the same thing as being productive or fulfilling purpose. You need to learn to say no to the things that are unnecessary and focus on the things that are necessary. Saying no does not make you rude. Saying no does not make you wicked. It only makes you wise. The next thing I'd like to say is rest intentionally. Find time to stay away from all the noise. Try to rest, sleep, take a breath, do away with your phones, worship. You could go to a park and just stay away from all your gadgets and just look at nature, relax, worship God, sing, and just rest intentionally. When you have gotten to that point where it feels like you're overwhelmed, you're burnt out, you need to create time to rest intentionally. For people that have children, you could take your children to their grandparents, you could take them to a crèche just for a few hours for you to just rest. For people that have children that are still at home, I'm not talking of the ones that are going to school. Or if you have a good neighbor to put, I'm talking of when you get to that point of extreme mental exhaustion, extreme emotional exhaustion. If you need to take your children to their grandparents, if you need to take your children to a crèche for, even if it's just for some hours for you to unplug and reset, if you need to, you can. I'm sure some of us have good neighbors. You can put your children in your neighbor's place for some hours and just go to a solitary place and just rest and just unplug and just reset. Rest is spiritual. Don't let the hustle culture rob you of holy or peaceful moments. The next thing I would say is find a good community and stay there. Surround yourself with people who would refuel you and not drain you. Surround yourself with people who will hold your hands and encourage you and not take away your remaining strength. Stay away from toxic relationships. Sometimes this toxic, not sometimes, most of the time, toxic relationships drain people. They take away a lot from you. So if you can't, stay away from toxic relationships. The goal is to love all, be liberal to all, but be selective with the kind of relationships you keep. Another way we can go from being overwhelmed to overflowing with peace and joy is to go back to God's word. God's word has a way of realigning us, of bringing healing and soothing every pain or every hurt you might feel. God's word also grounds us and directs us. You know, when you unplug, when you reset, you need to come back to know the direction you need to, like the next phase of your life that you need to go. So God's word directs us, it realigns us, and it brings healing. It's okay to be honest with yourself and acknowledge that you're overwhelmed, you're burnt out, you're tired, you don't know what to do next, or you're just there. But it's not okay to remain at that state where you are. God has promised us a life that is filled with abundance. God has promised us life in abundance. God has promised us the good things of life. And when you are mentally drained or emotionally drained, you will not enjoy some of these promises that God has given to us. So if you're in that place where you feel burnt out, where you feel exhausted, where you feel overwhelmed, it's okay to go to God. It's okay to rest. It's okay to unplug. It's okay to, reset, because God has promised us life and life in abundance. When you are having so much burden on your shoulders, when you're fighting silent battles, you won't be productive. You won't enjoy the promises that God has given to us. And sometimes you won't even see some of the values that God has deposited in you. So it's okay to acknowledge that you're overwhelmed. It's okay that to acknowledge that you're exhausted. All you have to do is just to ask God to help you. Remember that you need to see what you allow access into your mind. You need to learn to say no when it's necessary. You need to rest deliberately. You need to find a good community and stay there. And you need to go back to God's word for you to enjoy the overflowing joy and peace that God has promised us. You need to do these things. It is for your own good. So take that break, rest, take that leave from work, rest from all the noise, unplug, reset, refill. Because when you get refilled, you overflow and you'll be able to pour from your overflowing to the lives of others, and you'll be able to fulfill purpose. So I'd love to hear from you. At what point did you hit that rock where you were overwhelmed, where you were burnt out, and what did you do to come out of that state? What did you do to guard your emotional and mental health? If you've stayed till this moment, thank you so much for staying. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you've not subscribed yet, and kindly like and share to your colleagues, your friends, your siblings, even your parents. See you in the next video. Bye for now.